Hey everyone, Sari here, and welcome back to another week of Astra Season offense matches. I split the week pretty evenly between Oliver and Kronya's teams this time. Oliver, as usual, is an extremely bulky, surprisingly fast, highly mobile mage tank. I gave him the speed defense solo seal this week. I think it's a great fit for him, though the extra attack might end up mattering more than the speed. Rayson's an invaluable support for him too, both for enabling Oliver's weapon and for the extra start of turn healing he provides. I also ended up using both versions of my Kronya team. Kronya herself is an excellent vantage sweeper, and Fatal Smoke really feels like the final element that pushes her above and beyond the competition. Fallen Takumi is a great way to help enable her weapon too, either by himself or in addition to the Bolt Tower. I'm seeing more teams that are spread further out, and having a way to damage the defenders who aren't hit by the Bolt Tower is an invaluable tool. Fjorm's isolation effect is always useful to have, and allows the team to open up vulnerabilities in otherwise difficult setups. This week also had me thinking about updating some builds. Oliver currently gets targeted by Dark Shrines when he's buffed. Kronya gets targeted by the Bright Shrines, and they both get hit with Chill Attack, none of which is ideal. I can't quite fix all of these problems yet. Naga would need Life and Death 4 to soak Bright Shrines from Kronya, and Altina would need a combination of merges, flowers, and double Fortress Defense res skills to soak Dark Shrines from Oliver. But it's something I'm keeping in mind. I'll probably switch Naga to Life and Death 3 at least, and give her another flower, since that would let her soak Chill Attack for both carries. A small confession as well. I had a bit of a rougher week than the matches included in this video. There were two different matches that began with me forgetting to start recording the match, then misplaying while I tried to get back on track. I am sorry for not having those included here, and I'm hoping that the goof-ups are memorable enough that I won't let it happen again. So this was a really interesting way to start the week. And to be fair, I'm expecting a lot more Seiros matches this week. But this one's really cleverly thought out. It's got Seiros in the bonus slot, so she's not active right away, but she's also not wasting any dances because she's just too far away for them. And the Wings of Mercy means that it gives her a good way to get into the fight if something gets sniped. And then, yeah, especially for strategies like Kronya, where most of the units are going to be left at low health to be finished off later. They've got a New Year's Plumeria, a Close Save Edelgard, a Severa, and they already fed her a, shoot, I'm trying to remember her name, Tsubasa, that's it, Veronica, and Mirabilis. There's also a triple distant guard between the two of these that helps to keep this little section alive against any ranged attackers, since they don't have a far save unit. And this Summer Mia. Wind Sweep is a little interesting, but it does mean that she's going to be able to always sweep something like a Brave Hector. And then Panic Smoke, well, it complicates things. This lane is actually usually fairly safe from Bolt Towers. It's pretty rare to see them in the 5th lane. Setting this one up took quite a bit of thinking, actually. Because there's several complicating factors. This rally trap can actually be very annoying, and Veronica is just not something that you can handle with a unit that deals with the other units on the map. For the most part. So, the first step here is to test this Bolt Trap.
I won't lose.
We're going to do that with Plumeria.
I'll do it.
What is your desire?
Okay.
I'll do it.
That seems about right.
Yeah.
We can pick that up, and then Reagan moves here, and we can pick this other Aether pod up.
You have my trust.
And start getting ready for the Bolt Tower turn.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we move here, make sure
Yes.
we're giving her dragon effectiveness.
Why not?
And Plumeri
Over
over,
here?
and Reagan over. And we go. I think I've planned this out properly. The idea here is to bait this rally trap,
With utter certainty.
and in theory, that's
It will be
going
done.
to let us stop Mia from ever actually getting a chance to attack.
Okay.
And Kranya is actually bulky enough to
Close
take a
your
hit from
eyes.
Seiros and from Veronica at the same time,
Yeah, yeah.
which is really important. Alright, let's see if I figured this properly. Veronica moves in. Unfortunately, they can't actually dance. And even though Seiros gets to do a chunk to Kranya, she can't survive the counter.
Guess you wanna die.
And Mirabilis can do damage to Kranya, which is why she's not actually just dancing here.
Just a nuisance. You fool.
And down they go. And from here it's easy enough for
Time to
Kranya to
kill?
just finish this off.
Just a nuisance.
This was a fun one to start the week off with.
Okay.
I guess we'll see what we
Guess
get
you
next
wanna
time.
die.
This match is a bit of a step down, I think, from the last one. It's... If I'm honest, I think this is a lot more annoying than it is threatening. Most of that annoyance just comes from this Camilla with the Restore and 2 dancers. The chills from Dorothea can really mess with people if they're not thinking ahead, and the Restore with Azura's extra movement can help her catch people off guard. Chrom is, well, he's Chrom. Unfortunately, he and Azura are both out of season, so this triple mythic setup is only really boosting Camilla and Dorothea. Leaf is, well, he's never been the most threatening unit, especially outside of his bonus week, and Thracier can be threatening, but this Kestrel stance is a very odd pick for her seal. On the other hand, this Wings of Light is actually going to get quite a lot of work done for them. So, get in position, and let's get this started. I am going to need to be careful with Oliver's buffs here. I'd rather not get him chilled by either Dorothea or the Bright Shrine. So,
Don't you worry.
Yes?
Over here?
Flawless.
I'll do it.
and I do need to break this panic banner because it's just barely able to panic Oliver.
What is your desire?
Consider it done.
And Sabotage kind of really messes with Restore. Down goes Chrom. I'm hoping to keep Camilla alive, if possible. It might not be, but ideally.
Let's tread carefully.
Close your eyes.
Flawless. How frightening!
What now?
Don't you worry.
It will be done.
Yeah.
You have my trust.
Yep, and the Restorer continues to eat up all of their actions. Huh. It's interesting, actually. I thought Oliver would be able to double her. Oh well.
Flawless! Ha!
Why not?
Let's tread carefully.
And we just slowly clear our way across the map.
This is true beauty.
Let us go. What is your desire?
I won't lose.
With utter certainty.
We should get another couple of restores here. And I think Camilla will end up actually attacking. Oh no, never mind. Damage is too much.
Don't you worry.
Yes?
Flawless!
That's okay. We've still got time.
Yes.
Over here? Close your eyes.
What is your desire?
You have my trust.
Now Camilla's going to end up attacking. Not that it does much good, but...
Don't you worry.
I just finished Dorothy off, so we deal with this. I might need one more turn to pick this pot up.
Yeah.
What now?
I'll do it.
Consider it done.
But that's fine. We still have time. But yeah, overall a pretty straightforward clear here.
Let's tread carefully.
Yes?
Flawless!
Goodbye, Camilla.
Admire my poise.
Alright, on to the next one. Alright, this one's going to be a bit more fun.
It will be done.
Partly just for the regular reminder of why Kronya is such a good vantage sweeper. This is a 7th unit trap with Duo Sigurd. I don't know for sure yet, but I'm pretty sure that they've set it up so that Duo Sigurd is the one who denses Claude, which extends the threat range a lot past what Veronica has here, and covers most of the map. Veronica herself is using Flash, which is... I think, honestly, this is the most annoying part of the entire map for me. Legendary Claude is actually in season this week, which makes him very, very solid, and so is this legendary Lilina, who is their launch unit. It's the unit that they're trying to send into the enemy lines first to hopefully pick something off. Seiros is over here, and Duo Peony is there. She's basically here to jump forward after Lelina rallies Sigurd and dance Lelina and, make a mess. There are a few ways to pick this apart. The way I'm going to do here is just by avoiding the threat range of Sigurd entirely, which I can do since I didn't bring a full line of structures. Okay, and there we go.
Yes.
Over here? Why not? I won't lose.
I'll do it.
So, when Sigurd moves forward, assuming he is the one to do it, everyone's actually going to be out of his attack range, which means that nothing else happens, and Sigurd's just left up here, looking silly. So, I'm going to wait one more turn for this bolt tower to activate,
It will be done.
Time to kill?
and then we're going to watch Kronya tank this Lelina. So, because Kronya can actually have Vantage active immediately, it means that she doesn't really care about any of this except for Veronica and Lelina.
What is your desire?
And if we remove one of those from the equation, she actually has enough health to tank the other one outright. And that means everything except Seiros is going to die here.
Yeah. I'll do it.
It also helps a lot that we have Fatal Smoke.
Just a nuisance.
Because otherwise that healing tower would be a bit of a pain.
You fool.
And even though Claude actually still gets his Fallen Star active, it doesn't do him a lot of good
You're in my way.
when he's only got one hit point left.
Just a nuisance. Just a nuisance.
Alright. And from here it's pretty easy to just pick up the pots and clean things up.
Yeah. I won't lose.
With utter certainty.
Close your eyes. Over here?
Die. Yes.
You have my trust.
I won't lose.
With utter certainty.
Mostly because Seiros is not running distant counters, so we don't actually have to worry about her very much.
It will be done.
And, well, that helps too.
Time to kill?
Yep, I expect I'm going to start running into a lot more of these, now that Seiros is sparkable. But, I don't know, unless I see one that really stands out, I'm not too worried about those just yet. We're kind of ping-ponging a bit with these matches this week. Just one team and then another. And, well, this one's a little deceptive, I think. It is a walled-in setup, but there's a lot of problems with dealing with it that actually make it a little trickier than just another walled-in setup. This young Merrick with Windsweep is a bit of a problem for a lot of physical threats that try to deal with the team. Specifically for something like, Kronya usually. Although I think my Kronya could actually outspeed it. they put their Ishtar in the 7th slot, which... I mean, at least she's not wasting her dance, but it also means that she can't really help the team follow up at all. They've got Veronica, and the close save, far save duo of Henriette and Gustav, with the bonus week Thracier, and of Seiros. This one has distant counter. I don't think this will cause me too many problems overall, but we'll see. I'm planning to start this early, just to give myself as much time as possible to clean things up. And if possible, we can bait a lot of this team into the Vault Tower,
I'll do
which
it.
would be very useful.
You have my trust.
Oliver should actually just outright double this Merrick. What's that? A speedy green mage? With null follow-up. Don't forget that part. Okay, I did have to think about this for a little while, actually. And these traps are... they took a little bit of consideration for how to deal with them. Okay, so that wasn't in fact real. That one was, which is fine.
Yes?
So what I'm doing here is making sure that we knock this Henriette out, and then we're going to knock Seiros out, which is something that Oliver should have been able to do even without the bolt trap.
Over here? Why not?
Don't you
And
worry.
up you go. Oh, he wouldn't have knocked her out without the bolt trap. It's okay. It worked out.
With utter certainty.
Move you up and we can start clearing things out. It's not like Veronica's ever going to threaten Oliver anyway. Sadly, the bolt tower doesn't get to hit anything, but... Alright, a little bit more thinking involved here,
It will be
but...
done.
I think I've got this sorted now.
Flawless. Stunning, aren't I?
Bit of a waste to throw the iceberg on a one hit point Veronica, but... she needs to go.
Why not?
Don't you worry.
What now?
Let's tread carefully.
And while this is going to let their Thracier attack Oliver, she shouldn't really get a whole lot done. I don't think Oliver will get to knock her out in one go here, because it's bonus week stats mostly. But it's fine.
I won't lose.
Consider it done.
And at this point, yeah, they've really only got Thracier and Gustav to work with. And with an iceberg charged, that's not going to be a big problem.
Flawless.
Let's just take Thracier off the board. And then we can
Admire my poise.
let Gustav help charge our iceberg. Finish him off. How many turns have we got? Oh, we're fine.
Let us go.
Don't you worry.
I'll do it.
Flawless.
With utter
That's not a
certainty.
real trap,
What is
so
your desire?
there we go.
Let's tread carefully.
No, and Gustav will just take a couple of rounds of combat to deal with. Triangle disadvantage does a lot.
What now?
Flawless.
You have
Let's get
my
this pot
trust.
first.
Don't you worry. Here.
Alright. That ended up taking longer than I would have liked, but there's some bulky units on that team. On to the next one. This week just seems determined to make me use different teams every match.
Just a nuisance.
But that's okay. This is a fun little setup, even though I'm not so sure about some of their skill choices. I think this is the first +10 geese I've seen on an AR defense team. He's very impressive. Forcing his solo at the start of the positioning is actually really cool. Although I think it's unreliable to keep those solos active after the map starts moving. They also have the +10 in-season Alm, and a +10 Seliph. He's actually really spooky with his Refine, once he's at max investment. We've also got the +10 Elliewood. Don't know why they have a Ward Cavalry on him, but hey. They've got an in-season 3-seer. A Seiros, who's running this Phantom Res to just make sure that she gets that damage reduction. And a weaponless Mirabilis who's also in the bonus slot. This is also really odd to me. I guess it can work, but I feel like it makes you really vulnerable to hit and run. All you have to do is pick Mirabilis off and then back up, and, well... But, I don't know. Maybe it works out for them. Alright. This one's going to be pretty quick, I
You
think,
have my trust.
assuming I do my movement properly.
Time to kill? I won't lose. Why not?
I'll do it.
Repositioning Naga here is
will be
actually
done.
pretty important, just to make sure that she soaks this Bright Shrine before the next turn. And the reason I want to engage so quickly with this before the Bolt Tower or anything even goes off is so that I actually get to use this Bolt Tower and Takumi to break down Almond Geese after the main fight is done.
What is your desire?
So I can snipe Mirabilis very easily. And charging Ruptured Sky and just 7 damage is enough for her
Close
to
your eyes.
deal with Elliewood.
Okay.
Right, forgot.
Consider it done.
Wanted to pick
Over
this
here?
pot up first, and
Time
then
to
we'll snipe
kill?
Elliewood.
Guess you wanna die.
And we'll probably take a pretty big hit here from Seliph. But Kronya should come out on top.
You're in my way.
This is a fun little interaction where Vantage actually shifts the entire combat up ahead of the opponents.
You're in my way.
Nope, bye Seiros. And Thracer doesn't have any chance.
You fool.
And Geese will always move forward just because he can't actually reposition all, so makes it easy
I
for
won't
me.
lose. Yeah.
And with all of his Zoa skills
You're in my way.
offline, he's not very hard to take out.
I'll do it. Time to kill?
Alright,
Just a
that
nuisance.
went pretty well. It was a fun setup. So, only a slight variation of the team this time.
Careful.
I'm still using Krotnia, we're just bringing Isolation along. And that's mostly because this is trying to set up a Sigurd trap with the 7th unit in Dance. They also have a Zane on their team, which is interesting. I'm not sure how effective he really is, but I mean, he can get some pretty decent stats between Dimitri and Sigurd and all the rest. Dorothy is a great unit to enable Duo's Hindrance, just thanks to all of the chills attached to her weapon. And Seiros with Distant Counter is not too easy to attack into. Duma helps them cover their Bolt Tower lanes, but they only have him in this one lane, so it's easy enough for him to miss it. Replacing his normal breath with Lightning Breath is, oof, as well. Not legendary, but brave Dimitri, who is... he's pretty bulky, honestly. Especially if he gets debuffed by a dagger, let's say. And the bonus weak thrace here. This Brazen is an interesting choice. I'm not sure how effective it really is, but she can usually survive one round of combat, which lets her get into that Brazen range pretty easily. I'm not expecting to have too much of a trouble with this. Sorry, tripping over my words a bit. Didn't get as much sleep as I would have liked last night, but that's okay.
Careful.
So we're gonna break this.
Why not?
Mary is going to break this.
What is your desire?
And we're
With
going
utter
to pull
certainty.
people back out of
Okay.
range.
Yeah.
And because I isolated Sigurd, Dorothy is going to be the one who jumps forward to dance Seiros, which means that this threat range gets extended a lot less than they would usually want it to be.
Over here? Time to kill? Close your eyes. Let's find happiness.
Consider it done.
It will be done.
And now we just wait for the Bolt Tower. I'm going to do something that might seem a little odd, because I'm not actually trying to sweep this entire team, or even most of it, in one turn. I really would actually like to leave as many units alive as possible so that it helps us actually chip this Dimitri down, because we didn't get to hit him with the Bolt Tower.
Yeah. Why not?
Yes.
And also, this lets us test this trap, which is not real, so we are going to knock Zane out.
Time to kill?
That's fine.
I
And
love you.
Bjorn can break this.
You
get
have my
Bolt
trust.
back.
I won't lose.
We'll move Reagan over. Yep. Naga, I think, has gotten a lot more useful now that Seiros is involved.
You're in my way.
Just having that dragon effective damage is... it does a lot of work.
You're in my way.
Okay, now we see where Dimitri moves. Oh, perfect.
What is your desire?
Yeah.
With utter certainty.
Careful, careful. Okay. Just a nuisance.
So, I'm reasonably sure that Dimitri doesn't matter much here, once his
Close your
Unity
eyes.
skill's offline.
Yeah.
Yeah. This looks very spooky, but he doesn't actually get a second attack when he's not defending, and he loses a lot of damage when he doesn't get his hone and he doesn't have the Unity
Time to
active.
kill. Guess you wanna die.
Yep. We might not finish him off
Just a
here.
nuisance.
Depends. Oh, no, never mind. I thought you might get some damage reduction, but nope. Alright, that wasn't so bad. On to the next one. So this is a bit of a quieter match for the second to last match of the
Will be
week.
done.
I'm hoping it's the second to last. They've got a lot of armors on this team, if I'm honest. Got a +1 Idun, Gustav, Tuma, who has a really odd positioning since he's in the same lane as this catapult. I've got Seiros and Henriette, and an in-season Alm, and a bonus week 3-seer. It's... I'm not going to lie and say this is the most inspired setup I've ever seen, but the 3-seer specifically is actually a bit of a pain just because with her bonus week and with Wings of Light boosting her, she's actually really, really fast and a little tricky to knock out.
Consider it done.
It will be done.
Don't
But
you worry.
Let's
Alm,
go.
on the other hand, is nowhere near as much of a problem.
Why not?
Let's tread carefully.
Over here.
And with no dancers, it's not like they can really catch up, so... Now, unfortunately, I am going to need to enemy phase 3 here instead of just knocking her out here, because Henriette's
Don't you
guarding her.
worry.
But that's okay.
What is your desire?
Flawless.
What now? Yes.
Yeah. I'll do it.
Alright, get some more debuffs on her just to make sure that that iceberg
With
knocks
utter
her out.
certainty.
This is true beauty.
And down goes Thracer. Yep, and just in time for the bolt tower to make everything much easier.
Let's tread carefully. Here. Ha!
Yes?
Don't you worry. Admire my poise.
There's not really too much to say about this, honestly, thanks to the walled-in setup. It makes things pretty simple overall. Gustav is probably going to be a little more annoying to take down, but since he can't counterattack at range, it's only a matter of time before we can break him. And if necessary, we can just charge up an iceberg.
Over here?
You have my trust.
What is your desire?
I won't lose.
It will be done.
Flawless!
Guess it doesn't matter too much if this is a real trap. And it's the other one. Okay.
What now? Yes. What is your desire?
Close your eyes.
Let's tread carefully.
Yeah, this is fine. Gustav won't be able to do any damage to him, or relevant damage. And this gets him in a nice easy range of knockout next turn.
Yes.
With utter certainty.
Oh, I'll do it.
Consider it done.
Don't you worry.
Last iceberg to finish the match.
How frightening!
Alright. Well, that one wasn't so bad. Let's see what the last one brings. Alright. This should hopefully be the last match of the week.
Stunning, aren't I?
That's a fun way to finish. This isn't actually an immediate start the fight type of trap. They've got Seiros as their extra slot unit with Wings of Mercy so that if you try to hit and run, she has a way to catch up. They've got Edelgard, who is kind of a melee specialist with this build in Fury 4. And Thrace here in her bonus week. Using Ruse is actually a really neat idea on her. I like it because a lot of the time her personal skill is kind of unreliable. They've got this +6 Fawns who is just built to tank with an instantly charged Moonbow, the Lull, and the Defrez AR skill. Mirabilis, and Peony, and a Rally Trap Leaf. That's +1. This is a little bit of an intimidating an intimidating setup to start to go in with, but I think I've got this figured out. So what I'm going to do right at the start of this is test this trap, because I want Oliver to tank it from here, and if this does too much damage, I'm going to need to wait a turn for this healing tower to actually patch him up.
I won't lose.
Oh, it's a fake. Excellent.
Yes.
Let's tread carefully.
You have my trust.
Yes.
So we can just start this right away.
Don't you worry.
Close your eyes.
What should happen here is that Fonts makes the first attack because he survives.
Everyone, celebrate!
And then he gets danced. But at this point he no longer has a special because of the guard stance. so I'm not too worried about his damage output afterwards.
How frightening!
And he actually does survive the second round, but all that really does is eat the second dance.
Admire my poise.
It does also mean we're going to take a chunk of extra damage from the follow-up from Thracier and Leaf, but it shouldn't be enough to actually kill Oliver.
Zah.
Yep.
Stunning, aren't I?
Alright. I needed to take a little bit to think about this, and most of it just comes down to making sure that Edelgard doesn't get onto Oliver just yet.
Flawless.
Without all of his buffs, he's gonna have a hard time tanking her, and, well, he's under half health right now too, which doesn't help.
Let's tread carefully.
But we can make this work.
I'll do it.
Flawless.
We just need to pull Plumeria out of the way,
Let us go.
give Oliver another dance,
Don't you
and
worry.
then he can knock Mirabilis out.
Consider it done.
And we'll have Altina scooch out of the way.
What is your desire?
We'll push Racing into a safer spot, and pull Oliver back. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is make sure that we just turn Edelgard's entire kit off by dropping her health below 25%. And once that's done, we should just be able to bait Peony out and then clean up the map from there.
Yes.
Flawless.
Good. She gets one last chance to use that Black Eagle rule.
Admire my poise.
And then Fury drops her way below that threshold. Peony doesn't have Wings of Mercy, so
What now?
don't have to worry about that.
Let's tread carefully.
Seiros gets flattened.
Why not?
Don't you worry.
Well, no, let's just finish her off. Sadly, I couldn't quite get Oliver back in as cleanly as I thought at first. But that's okay. We're out of range of Peony.
With
We can
utter
pick this
certainty.
first pot
Over
up,
here?
and then pick the next one up the next turn.
Flawless.
That's fine.
I won't lose.
Let's tread carefully.
We'll take a second attack, because we're not defending, but it's not like Peony can do much.
This year will be
Together again.
I'll do it.
And down she goes. There we go.
How frightening!
It's fun to close the week out with Oliver. It was a pretty interesting week overall. A lot of Seiros, as expected. And we're probably just going to see a lot of that going forward. I expect most of the people who want to actually add Seiros to their team sparked her on this banner, so it'll be fun. Next week we should be back to Guinevere and Zelgius mostly, and possibly Dimitri. Hopefully I can pull a Dagger so I can add her to the roster and just get those extra stats. I don't think I'm going to pull very hard on this banner. It's very much just trying to get a Dagger and head out. But I hope you've enjoyed the videos. Good luck with your own matches, and I'll see you next time.